we had to get a separate crew from UK, very capable and very talented people, to go to Pakistan. Stuart and David, and they worked with some very capable crew in Pakistan. They are from England, our crew that we sent, and we were closely working with them from India to kind of make sure everything was in the right place.
Actually, the subject is such that you almost inevitably are going to start with one concept and probably end up with something a little different. क्योंकि ये subject ही ऐसा है. And with the personalities involved, the countries involved, the logistics involved, you must have faced a lot of challenges.
I guess tropes of storytelling is to have a sharp, narrow focus on what you want to tell the audience within the theme we are exploring. So while there is 75 years of history, it's not a history book. It's not about saying, oh, we need to tell what happened in 52, 65, whatever, right? 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, that would be boring. So our logic was to pick on a significant slice of that history, which is that 99, 2004 kind of a period, which there is a golden period of India-Pakistan cricket.
I asked, I was introduced to him and I asked him, I said, Gary, how do you manage a team that has Sehwag, Sachin, Dravid, Lakshman, Dhoni? I mean, how do you manage a team like that? So, uska answer I'll never forget. He said that, if you think that my job as head coach is to teach Sachin how to play a cover drive or Dravid on how to play a defensive forward stroke, you're sadly mistaken. My role is to make sure that they are mentally and physically prepared and in peak condition to go out and win that match. That's my role as head coach.
तो चलिए एक बार फिर आप सबका स्वागत है क्रिकेट पैसा पावर प्रॉफिट जितना भी आपके पास पैसा है प्रॉफिट होता है उससे उस सब के बारे में बात करने के लिए हम एक बार फिर तैयार हैं और आज हमारे साथ फैसल सर के अलावा एक खास मेहमान है मेरे जो हाल ही में रिलीज हुए नेटफ्लिक्स की डॉक्यूमेंट्री के डायरेक्टर चंद्रदेव भगत हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं आज इस शो पे काफ़ी दिलचस्प डिस्कशन होने वाला है और इट्स गोइंग टू बी क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग फैसल सर
It certainly will, and first of all, I'd like to welcome Chandradev Bhagat Sahab to the show. Welcome, sir. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. And actually, for those who don't know, Chandresh himself played a big role in the show, which we will also discuss. And I have quite a few leading and searching questions for you, Chandresh. So you can't escape this time.
Okay.
So this is going to be a wonderful program, and I think this will be of great interest to all of us.
Absolutely. So Chandradev, आपसे पूछना था, how did this idea of this Netflix documentary, The Greatest Rivalry, India versus Pakistan, come about, and what led to this idea being formulated?
So yeah, thank you for the introduction, and great to see all of y'all in this show. And I think like your show, I like the name of your show. Money makes the world go round, and it is the same for sport. So I think we are all interested in the commerce of sport and the peripheries of how things happen, right? So whether it's Netflix or Amazon or television or anything else, when we all looking for good stories, right, and good themes, and obviously I'm a bit of a cricket fan. I've had my sort of past sort of experiences at work in IMG, TWI, as well as 10 Sports, and I've been running my own content company for a while. So sports is pretty deeply seated in my DNA. I used to play as a kid, as a youngster. I used to play badminton, I used to play cricket and all of those. So, but natural that, we try to find stories in sport. Cricket is a natural, I guess, inclination for a lot of Indians. and Pakistanis and South Asians. So, but coming to the concept of how it came about, I would think the thought was pretty straightforward. I was actually in Pakistan for this 2004 series, producing the cricket for 10 sports. And while I was there for this entire tour, it certainly felt like something special is happening here, right? In many ways, the sport, the camaraderie, the number of people that have gone across the border, the sheer positive energy flowing through seemed quite spectacular in some ways. So I mean, I had always thought that something nice should be done with this. It needs to be told as a story. And well, 20 years later, we were discussing this with Netflix and a theme around sport, and cricket obviously is number one in that, and India-Pak rivalry sits on the top of that pile as well. So we identified that it should be India-Pakistan, and it could potentially be something around this series. So that's how this sort of came about, and then IMG, Netflix actually agreed to back us on this show, and it took a while to get done, but I'm glad this is the way it is, and I'm glad people are liking it.
So, Chandradev, obviously, ये जो आपने program किया है, it is a huge subject. It is actually almost impossible to put this into context in, a couple of hours. इसमें बहुत history है. There's a lot of factors involved. So, what are some of the challenges that you have faced along the way? And pehli cheez I want to ask you is, how long did it take you to make this first season of 3 episodes?
It's taken between 2.5 to 3 years to actually get it done. Taken a long time, and it's gone through a few iterations. It's always, the creative process is exciting, but it's also needs a lot of patience, because the reality is, in documentaries you're not actually following a script to the T. We create a broad framework, we film around that, but it's very organic in nature. We might do an interview with XYZ person, and that would give us some great insights in a certain direction, and we'll then move in that direction, and then that has to be incorporated into the narrative flow, and we sort of veer in that direction. It's almost like a river that's meandering along and finding its own path as you go along, in a sense. And well, you need not be reactive always, but you also need to be reactive sometimes, because otherwise we'll just be all over the place. So yeah, it took some time. The structure of it was in place. We kind of captured the interviews, we got the archives, we got the footage rights, which is quite a challenging one, because they are all very complicated right structure, as you might well know very, very well. They are also very expensive, so we have to navigate the budget sort of sheet as well, and all of those. So yeah, it's actually quite a we're talking to cricket stars who are busy in their own rights. So yeah, it was quite challenging, but it was quite exciting as well.
I'm sure it was. And can you fill us in on some of the specific incidents over these 3 years while making this show that stand out for you? Memorable incidents, both positive and maybe not that positive.
A lot of it stands out. If I may talk about one or two more. As a cricket fan, we're also, I guess, being fanboys at some level, right? While we are producing and directing and all those things, it's still, like goosebumps to talk to Sunil Gavaskar and have a chat with him and get his views on things, or have our interviews with Sehwag and Shoaib and whoever else. Um, memorable moments. Yeah, I mean, I can give you one behind the scenes sort of a anecdote, which is interesting, and it was a problem and good and a bad situation where we were meant to film with Virender Sehwag at the Wagah border. We've seen a few shots of that, I think, right? And the entire crew was there. We're supposed to have permissions to actually film. We had done the paperwork and we'd applied for the permissions, and it was sort of coming and coming and coming, but until the last minute, the actual written permission had not come. We tried everything we could, spoke to the right people, but somehow the permission didn't come, and so basically we pretty much waited the entire day. We needed about a couple of hours of filming in the evening at the Wagah border from the India side, where that's a great sort of spectacle, show of strength kind of angle. It brings the passions out, as well as as you all know what happens there. But as it so turned out, despite all our sort of preparation and effort, we could not film on that particular day, and we had to reschedule the filming for almost like a month or two later, when we actually finally had everything in place, and then went ahead with the filming. But things like these, I guess, keep happening in the process of making anything. So yeah, that's one of the stories that stood out for me.
Actually, the subject is such that you almost inevitably are going to start with one concept and probably end up with something a little different. क्योंकि ये subject ही ऐसा है. And with the personalities involved, the countries involved, the logistics involved, you must have faced a lot of challenges. I mean, for example, I believe I either read or saw somewhere that in order to film in Pakistan, आप खुद वहाँ travel नहीं कर सके. You had to actually get a separate crew to do that for you.
Yes, that's right. We had to get a separate crew from UK, very capable and very talented people, to go to Pakistan. Stuart and David, and they worked with some very, very, very capable crew in Pakistan. They are from England, our crew that we sent, and we were closely working with them from India to kind of make sure everything was in the right place. But yeah, I would have loved to go to Pakistan, but the way things stand today, it was extremely tough to get visas. But I think crew did a commendable job, and everybody in Pakistan really helped out. And again, I mean, that's the beauty of it all, right? That on the ground there is so much camaraderie, there's so much bonhomie, and people are willing to help out and go beyond their call of duty to kind of help. So it was really, really good fun. Shoaib himself gave us so much time and effort, and went out of his way to help. So yeah, it was overall challenging for sure, but a very exciting experience. And I think that just provide the balance in the documentary between India and Pakistan. The attempt was to keep the balance in the right place and not be India centric or Pakistan centric, as the case may tell viewers sort of a balanced story of both sides, with talking heads, with narrative styles, and whatever else. So
my next question is to Chandresh. Chandresh, you were very much part of this journey. You were the person who did the research. And पहली चीज से ये Chandradev, I take my hats off to you for being able to work with Chandresh for 3 years. ICC में मैंने इसके साथ काम किया है, and believe me, he is a handful, and he speaks his mind. He is a very, very enterprising person. So Chandresh, आप अपनी story बताइए.
नहीं मैम, I still remember about 3.5 years ago I got a call from Payal, Chandradev's wife, asking if I would be interested in being part of this project, and I was absolutely sure that I want to be part of this project, and it was a fantastic process. मतलब जो जर्नी रहा इस प्रोजेक्ट का, जैसे चंद्रदेव ने कहा, मतलब so many iterations, You start off with something at the start, plans, and then you end up with something else. Talking to a few of the talking heads as well. Some interesting reactions from some of the talking heads, which I would probably let you know after this chat. And some very cooperative reactions from some of the talking heads. And I think that in some cases, like say Krishnamachari Shrikant, for example, now we can reveal it. His sons lead the way for him. So he's not very savvy, even though he's an engineer himself. His sons lead the way, and it's very difficult for someone like me to believe that, to digest that, because he was sort of an innovator in his day, and he was taking the lead as a cricketer. But now he's taken sort of a back seat in everything, and his sons lead the way. So that's a big thing for someone like me who has seen Shrikant take on the bowlers and hit them out of the park. And for him to now, it suddenly hit me that Shrikant is now no longer the young Shrikant. That was a big revelation for me. These are sort of these little things that you realize that, some of your childhood heroes have grown old, and it's difficult for you to accept that. So I think that was a big thing. And also, ये प्रोसेस में जो रिसर्च होता है, अब मुझे बोल रहे हैं अच्छा ये भी होना चाहिए था, वो भी होना चाहिए था, वो भी होना चाहिए था. मतलब होना तो सब कुछ चाहिए था. मतलब 47 से लेके 2025 तक सब कुछ होना चाहिए था. But it's very difficult to fit it into a movie. You realize that, as in like you realize that much later, because as a movie watcher myself, मैं भी comment करता हूँ यार शाहरुख के पिक्चर में ये नहीं था, वो नहीं था, सलमान के पिक्चर में ये नहीं था, आमिर के पिक्चर में ये नहीं था, ये ऐसा नहीं हुआ, वैसा भी नहीं हुआ. ये मतलब many years later, then you keep finding faults. Like there's a movie called Khud Garz starring Jitendra and Shatrughan Sinha. I still feel that there is a jump in that movie from in one scene they are fighting, as in Govinda and Neelam are fighting against each other, and in the very next scene they are singing songs. So there is a gap there. Maybe Rakesh Roshan, who's the director of the movie, had some vision, something happened, we don't know. But I'm just saying that these are kind of the things that you realize. Now I realize that I have to be a bit more lenient with people who are making products for a movie screen or for an OTT platform, because I realize there are certain things that are not in your control, and it happens. And मतलब वो part of life है मेरे ख्याल से, मतलब as in part of the process, creative process, I think.
So if I may just add to what Chandresh is saying, I mean, one of the, I guess, tropes of storytelling is to have a sharp, narrow focus on what you want to tell the audience within the theme we are exploring. So while there is, 75 years of history, it's not a history book. It's not about saying, we need to tell what happened in 52, 65, whatever, right? 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, that would be boring. So our logic was to pick on a significant slice of that history, which is that, 99, 2004 kind of a period, which in theory is a golden period of India-Pakistan cricket. And it's more recent to our memories. So, it's just more sort of, something that is, some people have seen in the peripheries and all those. So it's that period. And we pick the significant moment, which really was India's first ever, victory in Pakistan. We used to get thrashed before that. But India went and won that series, one days and tests. So it's a breakthrough moment for Indian cricket in that sense. And to tell the story through its key protagonists, to its two combative stars. So therefore, the lead is Shoaib and Sehwag. Both are sort of interesting, very popular characters. They have their own way of dealing with life. And how the rest of the people obviously wove around that. It's a team game after all. I mean, no two people can actually, do everything. So, we had the people around them, which is, Sourav Ganguly, Inzamam ul Haq, the coaches, the other players, some of the legends, of course, to be everything, to tell us about the anecdotal history. I mean, it was fascinating to have Javed Miandad show us in person himself today how he hit that six. And the joy on his face is one thing that stays with me, actually, right? He still has such, great sort of feelings of joy when he was just smiling, so eloquently. It was amazing. That stays with my head, and I think Inzamam really shines through also as a lovely, gentle giant, as sort of most people call him. I mean, he was so talented, and many feel that he did not get the due that he deserved. But I'm so glad he was the captain. He played exceedingly well. He was like the best player of that series from Pakistan, and he was very well spoken. I think the contrast between him and Shoaib is quite telling. And as Saurav said, I think in the interview that I would so love to be in the dressing room that has Javed and Inzamam and Shoaib and a whole bunch of other extremely powerful characters. How does that dressing room work?
नहीं, absolutely. How does that dressing room work? In fact, मुझे याद है कि after the 2011 World Cup, जब India won that World Cup, and Gary Kirsten, who was the coach of the Indian team at that time, when he resigned after the World Cup and he was flying back to South Africa, he stopped in Dubai. And Dubai में वो जो रुका था, he was a friend of the then chief executive of the ICC, David Richardson. They had played together. So I happened to be with David at that time जब वो Gary Kirsten आया. So I asked, I was introduced to him, and I asked him, I said, Gary, how do you manage a team that has Sehwag, Sachin, Dravid, Lakshman, Dhoni? I mean, how do you manage a team like that? So uska answer I'll never forget. He said that, if you think that my job as head coach is to teach Sachin how to play a cover drive or Dravid on how to play a defensive forward stroke, you're sadly mistaken. My role is to make sure that they are mentally and physically prepared and in peak condition to go out and win that match. That's my role as head coach. So aapne jo kaha कि how do you, that dressing room must be a fantastic atmosphere. But coming back to the research, Chandresh, it's a pity क्योंकि मैं ICC में था at that time, and this series was absolutely huge. यानी कि at that time the chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board and a director of the ICC was Shahryar Khan Sahab, and the chairman of BCCI and the director of the ICC was Jagmohan Dalmia Sahab. And the two of them actually put this series together. And yes, it's a pity that neither of them are here today to be able to watch this, because honestly, while you have Ramiz Raja, who played a huge role as chief executive of the PCB, those two gentlemen really were absolute the icons and the fundamentals behind this series. And it's just a pity that both of them are not here.
Absolutely. And one thing that future generations may be finding it difficult to realize is that both these gentlemen also put together annual competition between the winners of Quaid-e-Azam and Ranji Trophy. In fact, one quiz question that I ask quite often to people is, where do you think Ajinkya Rahane made his first class debut? It was in Karachi while playing the Mohammad Nisar Trophy, which was Mohammad Nisar, who played for India before independence and then moved to Pakistan. So it was named after Mohammad Nisar. It was because of these two gentlemen who put this annual competition in place, and it ran for 3 editions. Then we all know what happened with the Mumbai attacks and everything was stopped. But this was an interesting concept. Virat Kohli has played the Mohammad Nisar Trophy as well. So we've seen this happening in the past. And I think that Shahryar Khan was also the manager of the 99 team, जिसके बारे में भी हमारे सीरीज में हमने जिक्र किया. Is featured prominently. He is also the chairman in 2004. So he played a very big part, and obviously he's related to cricketing royalty in India, Tiger Pataudi. So he has a cricket connection as well because of that. So I think that this is forgotten quite easily. and the role played by these two gentlemen. And I'm glad that हम कुछ कर पाए हैं हमारे शो के जरिए to show that this is happening, that this series was happening because of these two gentlemen.
इनफैक्ट मैं आपको बताऊं कि शहरियार खान wrote a book, आपने शायद पढ़ी होगी in your research. It's called A Bridge of Peace. And उसका launch जो हुआ था, it was specifically about the 99 tour when he was the manager. And then it ends, because उसने किताब लिख रही थी, it ends with almost like a final chapter which he wrote later on the 2004 tour of by India of Pakistan. तो वो जो किताब है, it's actually worth reading for someone who wants to know also the history between the two countries. And उस book की launch हुई थी in New Delhi. And it was attended by Tiger Patauti. And this was, I think, in 2005 or 2006 when that book was actually launched.
I think, yeah, that's right. And Tiger Patauti, in fact, Shahryar Khan Saab was the one who was with Tiger Patauti when he had that accident of his eye. So he knows something. He's seen that with his from close proximity. The first cousins.
That's right. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was with Tiger Patauti in UK.
Which level
that happened? Much before he started playing, around the time he was studying in UK.
He was very, very young.
Yeah, he was very young.
So he was also
tragic. He's studying there. I think quite tragic for Tiger Patauti, losing his father when he was 15, and then losing his eye a little after that.
Even one of them
He still played for India. Yeah. He changed Indian cricket.
Strength of the person, actually, right?
Yeah, he changed Indian cricket. I think one of the finest captains ever for India. It doesn't show in the results, but I think he's one of the finest captains ever because he changed the attitude of Indian cricket, I think.
Yeah.
You know, this camaraderie between the two countries and their players, ये जो Tiger Patauti की बात कर रहे हैं, and I'm sorry I'm moving away, I want to come back to the topic.
You're right, sir.
If you've seen Imran Khan's Cowdrey lecture, M.A. Patauti lecture, where he talks, I think that it was the first lecture that was arranged by Sharmila Tagore. And Imran Khan was the first one to deliver the lecture. He actually talks about Tiger, his accident, and the things that you've mentioned, Chandresh, about his approach to captaincy, which he said went from a defensive mindset to a completely attacking mindset under his captaincy. So,
yeah.
And this was appreciated by someone like Imran. And another story which probably I heard when I was with the PCB, उनके जो museum है, उसका जो curator है, he tells me a story, I don't know if it's true or not, is that the first international captain of Sachin Tendulkar was Imran Khan. And I don't know if you know that story, but I'll tell you very briefly, it can be edited out, is that I think it was in 1987 or 88 when there was a match at the CCI Mumbai between Imran's 11 and Gavaskar's 11. And at that time, what happened was that 3 or 4 Pakistanis went down with food poisoning. So they could not take the field. So Imran went to Gavaskar and said that I need substitute fielders, 3 or 4 fielders. So when he went back, a young boy came to Imran and said, "Sir, I play over here. I'm a great fieldsman." So कहता है कि तुम क्या कर रहे थे? कहता I'm a ball boy. So but please give me a chance. I'll field for you. So Imran just looked at him and said, "Ke aaja, come on, you're on." That was Sachin. So Sachin, I believe, says that my first international match was playing for Pakistan under Imran. And he was about 15 at that time.
Yeah. And I think he also got a catch of Kapil, which he didn't take on the boundary.
So I'll tell you an interesting story. You were about 15 and we were playing junior cricket and under 15 cricket for our state and all that. There was an India-Pakistan match
Uh-huh.
in Jamshedpur, the city where I grew up. And a whole bunch of us youngsters were ball boys in that match. And I still remember, having seen the match, we were obviously near the dressing room as the players were coming out. And for us, it was fascinating to see how, the sort of stature of Imran Khan and the stature of Javed Miandad and how they sort of played together and vibed together and how different they were as personalities, right? I remember Javed coming out and, sort of hustling people around, right? Chalo, let's do this, let's do that, and in his own sort of, Javed Miandad sort of way. And then when and Imran came out, it was like, here's this sort of regal character. Boys, come, let's have a quick chat. So it was so different in personality and character, and they are both so significant to the game at Pakistan cricket, right? It felt very interesting.
Absolutely. So basically, you present, you get the concept approved, the show approved. They will then give you a budget, and then you go out and execute.
Yes, we give them a budget, which is we sort of sort it out and negotiate, finalize it, and then we go out and film it based on those assumptions, based on those cash flow requirements that we give them. So, and
Okay.
then
By Netflix.
100%. So it's actually a creative job, start to end, delivered by a company, in which
Okay.
File
And
played a very significant role in sort of producing it and executive producing it. She is the primary interface with Netflix, and of course, I was there actively, and I sort of wore the hat of directing it and being more involved with the creative. Although it's a very, very hand-in-hand kind of a concept or execution plan in that sense. The entire team has to work with seamless closely to get this thing done.
so, in terms of the marketing strategy, in terms of the distribution, in terms of partnership and collaborations, that is all taken care of by Netflix.
Yeah, so the distribution is on Netflix. They do all of this to expand their subscription base. It's, I think, going out to 192 countries. And it is sort of our job to make sure all the rights that we get for the show are in for as many countries and sort of as many years as possible. With cricket rights, footage rights, it tends to have some limitations, as you know. But yeah, so distribution is theirs, marketing is theirs. Obviously, we provide suggestions and we give insights based on our understanding and knowledge of the game and how it works. But they are launching 30-40 shows a year, right? They know what to do. They have some of the best brains behind it. And
in terms of the revenue streams for Netflix, usme and return obviously on capital for them, return on investment. So usme phir aapki or Netflix ki, is there some kind of an arrangement for profit sharing or revenue sharing or something like that? Is that built into the model?
No, there is nothing in regular profit sharing or anything. It's clearly a work for hire. If that was the case, the structure would be very different, but not in this particular case.
Acha, so effectively, Netflix has commissioned the show. They hired you and your team, and now that the project is finished, the property belongs to them 100%, and your role effectively has ended
Yes, absolutely.
until season 2.
Yes, possibly season 2.
So my next question was, when is season 2?
I think we will get into it. It's just been a week that the show has been launched and seems to be doing well, and it seems to be going in the right direction. So we are due to have conversations and see where we get to season 2 and how they can happen and stuff like that.
So just to jump in here, Chandradev, is it possible that Netflix can say syndicate it to say television networks, to airlines? I'm just thinking aloud here. And next time you're on a flight.
I think they put a lot of premium to actually keep it captive on Netflix and have people come onto their platform. and subscribe to them. That is, they do the tie-ups with Airtel and all these telcos, right? I mean, around the world. That's the kind of partnership they do, I think. But yeah, it's basically up to them as to how they want to distribute, how they want to get the eyeballs. They see it moving in other directions in terms of more people watching it and things like that.
Because I would think that, say, an airline would be an ideal platform because people are spending 10 hours on the flight going from India to Scouts or Pakistan to States. Might be an ideal.
You know?
Yeah.
But there is internet on the flight, so it's not like you have to sell it to LS. So the whole tech structure is also changing a lot. No? There's internet. That's reversing. It will be in our brains sometimes. So.
But just to understand, is the structure the same with all platforms? Because you've created content for a number of platforms, OTT platforms, in terms of funding and execution.
I don't know too much details about every other project, but I'm sure there are different models that do get looked at. But I think fundamentally all these platforms are working towards creating unique content for their subscriber base, right? That doesn't change. That's the fundamental business model, right? By and large. And I think they all work towards that in various possible ways. They have to work with creators from all around the world, all kinds, big or small.
I must tell you.
Yeah,
I must tell you, sir, Grey Matter has created a concept in India, but it is not a sports concept, but a singing reality show format, which went international, which is now syndicated in how many countries now?
Yeah, it's syndicated in 5 countries with multiple scenes. But it's a good thing you brought up. So I must maybe just run through that model a little bit. So that is an IP we own. We created that a bunch of years back, and it is registered worldwide by us and owned by us, and we license it to the platforms in various parts of the world. So there's been 2 versions done in China. I think there's been 3 versions done in seasons done in Vietnam, in Indonesia. There have been, so it goes around the world. We license the concept. We get a license fee for it, and we also provide expertise. Sometimes collaborate deeper than just giving the license away to that particular market. And that's a model that has been very successfully done by some of the bigger production companies in the world, like Endemol or Banijay. And we have managed to build that. So Amazon Prime Video actually took the license from us, and we did a season with them. And that actually got us a nomination for the International Emmy Awards, which I think very few Indian concepts actually landed up there. So yeah, that really is I guess a feather on our cap, I guess.
I think it's a wonderful achievement, especially since when you talk about music and the arts, I mean, the competition is so intense out there. It is absolutely mind-boggling, the amount of competition and entries and stuff there is. So that is a wonderful achievement, and many, many congratulations. I mean, it really is.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's
And just coming back.
sorry to interrupt you, that's the idea of running your own content house, so to say, right? I mean, we can do stuff around various themes and various subjects that interest us, right? I mean, we're working on various kinds, various genres, various formats, and try to move the needle in the way people get entertained.
Absolutely. But coming back to the greatest rivalry, this is something that, every Indian and Pakistani, I would say, is passionate about. So, aapne jo create kiya hai, this documentary, it is really touching the nerve center. And as the documentary very well said, and frankly, I think the documentary was quite balanced. It showed, both sides of the equation. And, it's not easy to be able to do something like that, given the constraints under which you must have been operating. But aapne ek cheez kahi thi, I just want to touch upon that. You said it's been a week. That's quite true. It's been a week. Uh, अभी तो ये बहुत chalega. A lot of people will watch it over the next 6. I've distributed it to my entire family.
Thank you so much.
To all my friends, said you please watch this. In India and Pakistan, मैं 70s की बात कर रहा हूँ, 80s की बात कर रहा हूँ. A hockey match between India and Pakistan would stop all traffic, all activity. Certainly in Pakistan, for the duration of the match, there was no one on the streets. That was, in fact, जब वो hockey matches होते थे, it was bigger than cricket at that time.
I love this genre, and I think the world also loves it. The sport offers a great platform for drama. But you know, in India, sport themes as documentaries, particularly, or even other things, right? Even movies, have taken up in India. I think biopics and all that do work, but I think it's always about how you tell the story. And I hope if this resonates with the audiences, it will make all platforms maybe realize, or even empirically prove to themselves and to us and to everybody that these things can work. And I personally do powerfully believe it can work and should work.
Okay, there was a question raised about Afghanistan and the Taliban's attitude towards the women, and the world felt that, I shouldn't say the world, but there were certain elements in the West who felt that England should maybe boycott the game against Afghanistan. Australia से भी कुछ rumblings आई थी.